Hello and welcome to the first episode of Failure Course. Today we will be discussing a very interesting topic, or at least my doctor thinks so. Anyways, we will be talking about equalizers. Our main man Ben wants to text his girl Charlotte. He sends her a wink emoji, but instead she receives an angry emoji. What went wrong? There is only one way to find out. Let's dive into the bit world. Suppose our wink emoji is a 4-level pulse amplitude signal. Call it x of t. Our message is then bounced off different satellites to find its way to Charlotte. On its way, x of t is distorted by the impulse response of our channel h of t and by some noise n of t. As a result, Charlotte receives a completely different message, a distorted one. In the previous example, we saw a phenomenon called ISI, which is short for intersymbol interference. ISI is a form of distortion of a signal in which one symbol interferes with subsequent symbols. This is an unwanted phenomenon, as the previous symbols have a similar effect as noise. Ben should have used an equalizer. That way Charlotte might still be his. You might have guessed what an equalizer does, right? Equalizers are used to overcome the negative effects of the channel. Its goal is to eliminate intersymbol interference and the additive noise by reversing the distortion the channel had on the signal. Equalizers are generally classified into two main categories, linear and nonlinear equalizers. In a linear one, there is no feedback path to adapt the equalizer, thus it always behaves in a constant manner, opposite to a nonlinear equalizer, where there is a feedback path that adapts the output of the equalizer according to previous measurements. In today's video, we will only be focusing on linear equalizers. There are two main strategies to make a linear equalizer, each with its own benefits and problems. The first strategy is known as zero forcing ISI, where we design our equalizer in a way to reach zero interference. But this process has a major side effect, in which we enhance our noise. Shortly, we will dive into more details regarding our zero forcing equalizer. The other strategy is called MMSE, short for minimum mean square error, in which we obtain less noise enhancement, but at the cost of a more distorted signal and a more complex design. Let's go into more details regarding our zero forcing equalizer. As mentioned before, this equalizer is great at inversing the interference caused by our channel and is relatively very simple to design. But its drawback is that it neglects the noise we have. So as a result, we may unwillingly amplify our noise. Let's start with a simple scenario, just to understand how our zero forcing equalizer works. Suppose a channel with impulse response h of f and an ideal world where noise does not exist. Our zero forcing equalizer would be perfect in this case. Our filter would have a value of 1 over h of f, opposite to the effect of the channel. As a result, we would be able to fully inverse the effect of the channel on our message and completely reconstruct the message we have with no losses. In reality, noise is always present. So even though the ISI component will be forced to be zero, there may be a chance that the equalizing filter will greatly enhance the noise power, and hence the error performance of the resulting receiver will still be poor. To truly understand this, let's take a look at the following example. This blue line represents the information which we will be sending to our channel that has the following interference spectrum. This time, we are not in the perfect world anymore. So consider the green line our white noise, which has a certain constant value. To recover our message, our filter should be the inverse of the channel, as we saw in the previous example. Now, let's take a look at the result. Notice the difference here. We have greatly enhanced our noise, especially at the points where the channel has no interference. Now let's shift our attention towards the structure of an equalizer. Our zero forcing equalizer is a transversal filter, which is a weighted tap delay line that reduces the effect of ISI by proper adjustment of the filter taps. Now specifically, in the zero forcing case, our filter taps are adjusted in such a way that the equalizer output is forced to be zero at n sample points on each side, as in the given formula. Let's take the following example of a zero forcing 3-tap equalizer to truly understand how it works. Let's start with the received distorted set of pulse samples x of k, with values 0, 0.2, 0.9, minus 0.3, and 0.1. Now let's try to find our weights c-1, c0, and c1. Using the equation we discussed before, which is z equal xc, z of 0 must be equal to 1, and z of minus 1 and 1 should be equal to 0. Now fill in the numbers with the above values, and this is how our matrix should look like now. After solving our matrix, we can find our weights to be c-1 is equal to minus 0.214, c of 0 is equal to 0.9631, and c of 1 is equal to 0.3448. Now let us take a look at our equalized pulse samples, which we equated using the weights we previously found. We can clearly see that only k of 0 is equal to 1, while all other k values have a very small ISI, with a total magnitude of 0.084. This means that we have successfully equalized our signal. Now let's talk about the usages of a zero forcing filter. It is heavily used in IEEE 802.11n, which we all know as Wi-Fi 4. Sometimes it is also referred to as MIMO, which stands for multiple input and multiple output. In this case, zero forcing aids in building a system where the number of base station antennas is much more than that of the terminals. That's very useful, right? Now let us summarize what we've been through. A zero forcing equalizer is a transversal linear filter. It is one that is fairly easy to design and produce because of its very simple structure. It is also very efficient at cancelling the interference of the channel as long as there is no interference dead zones. In this case, our equalizer will enhance our noise greatly. So it turns out that Ben and Charlie's problem was pretty simple to solve. It was not a miscommunication problem, but a wireless communications one instead. Anyways, we hope you enjoyed our video today and found it to be helpful. Share with us in the comments below some interesting topics you would like us to talk about in future videos. Oh, and also don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you can stay up to date with our latest videos. See you next time. We hope you don't fail your course.